Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9 early bold predictions. Yes, we just finished Season 8 and everybody's just dogging on the ratings, so we might as well go ahead and start talking about Season number 9. And last year we started this maybe in, I'll have to go back and check, probably in June, and we just did episode by episode. I want to get it out there a little bit early because there's just some generalizations that we want to do, and then in a month or so we will start breaking it down episode by episode when there's some spoiler information out there, and we'll mix it in with our predictions. I want to say just what's up to everybody. Appreciate you being here on a Thursday night. Sorry about last night. I know if you're a member of the 99 Army, then you know that we did postpone the stream. If you're not, then you probably left it hanging a little bit. You know, on a Wednesday night, I know several people are probably like, hey, it's 9:30, where's Kills? We did have to push this back because, as I stated, we do have a brand new announcement, and I'm going to make a couple new announcements, but I do want to get into a lot of topics Walking Dead. So we do have the 999 gear is officially available. You guys have been pushing me for 3 or 4 months, so we finally have a site up. You can read down in the description. So if you want to check out one of those 999 Army shirts, and we will be doing some contests. We'll be talking about random things. So if you're at a Walker Stalker or Comic-Con, wherever you're at with the gear on, we'll probably do some prizes and some gift cards and some stuff if you're out and about and you take a picture of yourself doing that stuff. And so that's what's going on. I'll read the exact link out a little bit later on, but I didn't want to post links in the video because YouTube's kind of funny, you know, with stuff like that. We can post it in the description, but rules are rules. And another announcement I'm just really excited about is we're going to start back Random Things next Tuesday. So I'm actually calling it Random Things Season 2. So we did a whole lot of topics last year, and we're going to hopefully add a little bit more structure to it this time around. Maybe I'll post it a little bit in advance, give you a chance to do some research, but we'll mix it up a little bit. More to come on that. Let's get into The Walking Dead. That's what you're here for, right? We got a ton of fans here, and I want to talk about predictions for Season number 9. And I'm going to start out, I guess we can't really talk about the next wave of The Walking Dead without talking about the clues and the potential enemies, and the Whispers, I think, is definitely something that's on everybody's radar. Actually, before I do that, I missed a super chat, and people have probably been typing. I'm going through my opening monologue. Valar with a super chat says, 99 Army, lots of love to Kill, Steph, Emmy, Kels, Bree, Sweet Tom, sponsors, and Patreon. So thank you so much, Valar. Appreciate that contribution and appreciate your introduction as well. So we'll get some shout-outs a little bit later on in the show. So the Whispers, I know several people had sent me what they saw as the Whisperer clues. The first one is, hold on now. I'm getting ready to get into the topic, and Captain Crawfish coming out of nowhere says, what's up, Kills and Moderators? Not the ELO shirt. I'll talk about gear a little bit later on. It's up there. You can see a sample of one of them. We're starting out with just some of the basic tees with the 99 Army logo. I'll explain why we start with the Army and not 99 Gaming. And I'll tell you about some of the future products we're going to add to that site as well, too. So the Whispers, they looked down the hill, and there was a ton of walkers. So I'm not fully up to my Whisper knowledge and comic book knowledge, but apparently there were some big clues. There were some posts. And the more I'm thinking about this, I don't think Sherry can be Alpha. I think it's a clue. Maybe Sherry's involved with the Whispers, but I think it's got to be somebody else because it looks as if they're already kind of there, and that would have been too soon for Sherry to sort of do her own thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know if I see, maybe Sherry was looking for some help or a group to join, but I don't see her giving the order to decapitate people. So possibly Sherry was involved with the Whispers. Maybe she joined the Whispers. Maybe she was killed by the Whispers. That was probably a bigger prediction, and we predicted that a while ago, that Heath and Sherry would be the I guess the victims. But the infinity symbol, I think that's a red herring. I think Scott Gimple just threw that out there just to get us talking about Sherry. I think he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. Tanya says she was killed by the Whispers, and he too. Yeah, that's what I kind of feel. I think we'll see him, but that level of evil, I just don't see Sherry leading a group that evil. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just it's too dark and too twisted for her. She would have had to change awfully quick. Didn't seem like her persona. So let me throw it out to the group. I see several people saying Chris Raining's like, exactly. I agree finally. It took us a while to agree. What are your thoughts at this moment with Sherry and Dwight? And I know I made a bold prediction. I said if Sherry was alpha, Dwight could be beta. But since I don't think Sherry's alpha, then I don't think Dwight's part of the Whispers. And I'm going to read a few of your comments here. So go ahead and post what your thoughts are with Sherry. Let's see. Justin Barrett says they have a chance to really nail the Whispers. They could. And good question. Anyone know how many days have gone by since Heath disappeared? Probably, what, you think a month, maybe? Not that long. James Kelly says, with the time jump, it could be Sherry. Yeah, but I think there's already clues out there, James. I mean, if there was someone watching with a mask and there's all those walkers or potential Whispers assembling at the bottom of that hill and there's already some clues out there, then I think it's less and less likely it's her. I think it's more likely that she's dead. And we'll see a small cameo. I don't see her coming back to the show in that capacity either. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic, which is, yeah, I think Sherry's dead. I'm gonna give that my bold prediction. So let's go Maggie versus Rick. So the Civil War showdown between Maggie and Rick. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Was Maggie also, you think, a little upset because Rick said he was going to follow her? And then Rick gave that speech at the end and looked like he was still longing to be in charge? Let me know your thoughts on that. Is Rick still a little power hungry? I mean, Villar says yes. Justin said yes. In the first episode, you know, Rick's talking about, hey, when this is all over, I'm going to follow you. And then I first thought maybe he was just trying to keep the peace, but then he gives a speech and he's barking out orders. He's like, you go home. You do this. We're starting over. We're doing this. He didn't say, hey, you know what? Maggie is the new leader. Little bit disappointing. I mean, I'm okay with Rick leading, but I'm not okay with Rick lying over and over again. Walking Dead Nerd says she's going to for a while. Going to be bitter for a while. I was trying to figure out that other word. Maybe she is bitter, but she looked like a pretty good leader back in her office suite with Daryl and Jesus there. So apparently she knows how to drive the point home. That's a good point, Petey. Petey says, I think if he knew that if he let Maggie lead, she would immediately kill Negan. Okay, but isn't that kind of her choice to make? So I'm not debating who the better leader is. But if you're going to defer leadership to someone else, then you shouldn't be making the decisions for them. And he was pretty clear, when this is over, I'm going to follow you, but yet he's the one, he alone decided to spare Negan. And we see Maggie as being upset, and we see Maggie as wanting revenge, which I understand that. But at the same time, Rick is a little power hungry, and Rick is making decisions for everybody again, and Rick is not being truthful. So I'm not going to dispute. I'm not going to dispute who is the right person. Maybe in this current situation, Rick is the right person to lead. But you can't just elect somebody and then single-handedly change your mind and take away their power. And that's really what Rick did. And I think that is part of the frustration with Maggie as well. She wanted to say in that. She wanted to kill him. It's true. Villar says maybe he wanted to take charge for Carl's wishes. Following Carl's wishes. I understand. You guys are telling me exactly what I already know. I understand exactly why he's doing it. What I'm saying is I don't know that he has the right to do it. Exactly. Bumblebee Brown is that's exactly what I want to say. If Maggie's the leader, then they should vote on what to do with Negan. Or there should be it's Rick's choice, it's Rick's decision. Daryl's not happy with it. Maggie's not happy with it. There are other people that aren't happy with it, but Rick is happy with it. So it's Rick's rule. It's what Rick is going to do. Rick wants to use Negan as an example. Maggie wants him dead. Not saying which one is right, which one is wrong. What I'm saying is clearly wrong is Rick said Maggie will be in charge, and now she's not. Clearly she's not. Let's get to a super chat real quick, and I'll get back. I'm gonna beat that point down a little bit. DeMarco Andretti says, favorite episode in the series so far? Mine is 701. Boy, I only watched 701 one time, DeMarco. It would be tough for me to pick one series over any other, or one episode. I'll throw that out to the group in a little bit. Joe Fulford says, do you think Daryl's pulling a double standard by wanting Negan dead but letting Dwight go? Joe, I would say you could say a double standard, but I think in his mind Dwight started to redeem himself. Negan didn't. I think he relates to Dwight a little bit, and he doesn't want to admit it. So yeah, I don't know if I'd quite say it's a double standard. I think it's an interesting point that you bring up, but I do think that Dwight has earned some points back and proven that he was just in a rough situation. Still killed Denise, but you know, people were following orders of other people at that time. Joe Robb says, Gregory is the real cause of all this. Why is he still alive? Well, if you don't kill Negan, you can't really kill all these other people. So Crawfish brings up a great point. And I understand. I know why Rick is doing this. So Crawfish says Rick doesn't have that right, and if you kill Negan, you can still set an example. So what Rick is doing is not just setting an example of what imprisonment looks like. He's also, which is exactly what Carl wanted, he's trying to put an end to all the people versus people killing. The death penalty is gone. Basically, the death penalty it's a free-for-all. It is the wild, wild west out there. You don't like somebody, somebody's on the opposite end, you just kill them. So Charles Loreno says, what are the chances Maggie's alpha and Jesus is beta? Look at the long hair and trench coat. I don't think so, because I don't see both of them bailing on Hilltop, Charles. I think it's an interesting prediction, but it's kind of like it's when I made the prediction that Sherry could be alpha and Dwight could be beta. It was interesting to think about it, but the more you think about it, it just doesn't make a lot of sense that Hilltop would just. I don't think they're going to bail on Hilltop. They're going to prepare Hilltop. So let me, but thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Let me bring up the precedents. Until Negan dies, anyone that you kill, you're going to be questioned for. You're going to be put under the radar. So here's the question that I would throw out to you guys. I want you to think about this, and don't just answer because it's going to sound a little bit crazy. Daryl said, if I'm going to let you go, I'm going to let you go. You go find her. If I see you again, I'm going to kill you, son bitch. You know, whatever. If Daryl sees Dwight again, he comes by, knocks on the door at Hilltop and says, hey, I was just in the neighborhood, I wanted to borrow some sugar, and Daryl kills him. Would you not question why Daryl doesn't kill Rick for keeping a murderer alive? So, hang on, I know I don't want to catch a lot of heat for this. Rick is harboring a killer. So if you kill Dwight before you kill Negan, or before you kill the person protecting Negan, I got a big problem with that. I got a huge problem with that. Now, I'm not saying Rick needs to die, but what I'm saying is there's a precedent. They are. Garrett brings up a good point. They're all killers, and the purpose is to try to scale it back. Great point, Mina. Rick threw a fit when Morgan saved the wolves. So Tanya says it's a kill or be killed kind of world. And Carl had the vision that it wouldn't be like that. And Rick, even in sarcasm, said, you think we're going to be picking strawberries with Negan? So there's a lot of problems going on. And I know they thought they were ending 8 seasons with this, but I see big, big issues. Maggie had a right to want Negan dead. Rick had a right to want Negan alive. So, let's say it played out a little bit differently. Rick cuts Negan's throat. Everybody's watching. Nobody's saying, please, oh God, save him, he's a great person. They're cool. They're just letting him bleed out. No big deal. Rick says, save him. Now, the foresight with Rick is, if I show mercy, then all these people up there might show mercy as well. But if Rick would have killed him, you still might have accomplished the same thing. But he might have been looking over his shoulder a little bit more. So he's trying to create loyalty. So I understand that. So what would have made more sense is Rick cut his throat. Rick said, save him, and then immediately went over to Maggie and said, hey, we're going to save him, but we're going to have a trial, and we'll convict him, and if we convict him, we're going to hang him. But he didn't do that. He made the decision all by himself, against Maggie's wishes, against Ezekiel. Didn't get Ezekiel's insight either. Now, Ezekiel might have wanted him dead, because Negan's men killed a lot of Ezekiel's men. We don't know his opinion, because Rick didn't bother to ask anybody. So, I saw a little bit of that in Maggie. I saw a little bit of that Rick and Michonne. Rick and Michonne. It's all about Rick and Michonne. What about what Maggie wants? Exactly. This is not a democracy, Rick Grimes. It's a Ricktatorship. There's no doubt about it. So that's my point, Justin, and so Justin Barrett, perfect example, says, man kills, the more we talk about this, the more I'm on Maggie's side. And I'm not bringing it up to make you be on Rick's side or Maggie's side. What I'm saying is, and some people who we asked the other day to rate the episode, and they said 6 or 7, I said, watch the episode again. I think when you dig down a little bit of this, you realize these writers have created a lot of gray area for us. And they left it gray, and they did leave it with cliffhangers. And they lied. They lied. Scott Gimple and Robert Kirkman lied just like Rick lied. They're no different. It didn't wrap up Jack. I've got more questions now than I had before episode 16 ever aired. So it is. It's open. It can still be interpreted. They could still smooth out the relationship. There's just some preparation going on. There's a little bit of animosity with Maggie. But I'm just saying what Rick should have done. And Rick is the star of the show. We immediately give Rick a pass for all the stupid stuff, I almost said it, that he does. Rick does a lot of stupid stuff, but he's the star of the show. Rick killed a whole lot of Negan's men. Negan brutalized some of his men and danced around when he did it. So there's a lot of wrong going on here. So Maggie B says, how many people lost their lives for Maggie's lust for revenge? A lot of her own people. It's a good point. How many people lost their lives because of Rick's lust for revenge? How many people lost their lives because of Daryl's lust for revenge and driving a garbage truck through the sanctuary? It's a butterfly effect. Exactly. They're all guilty. We will dig down and we will analyze this and we will debate this many, many more times before season 9. So I'm going to move on to a different topic. And the next topic really, well, it does tie into this. I don't think it's as much about Team Rick or Team Maggie, but I do think to a degree it is Team Glenn and Team Carl. And I've gotten several messages. People want to do a whole episode with this, so we may have to talk about it a little bit more. So, as a viewer, if you were in The Walking Dead, if you were a part of the show, if you were a character on The Walking Dead, would you be more after revenge for Glenn or a future to support Carl? I'm going to read a few of your comments. And I feel like we're going to be split right down the middle with this. And this is what's so cool about this debate, because, you know, this tells me a lot. I can honestly tell you, I don't know, but I would have a hard time trusting Negan. You know, Carl writes a letter, you know, maybe my dad will spare you. Golden Arm says, Glenn was a good dude. Herschel approved. Lamont says revenge. Kel says, if you go with revenge, there will never be an end. Debatable. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about serving your point. I mean, Jake from State Farm says, but revenge sure does feel good. Okay, how about I give this as a suggestion? Here you go. I'm going to solve the problem. In order to bring closure to this Negan situation, this is what you do. You sew him up. You have a, you bring him out on Cinco de Mayo. You tie him hanging from the tree like a piñata, and you give Maggie Lucille and let all the saviors, all the kingdom, all the people from Alexandria watch. And you say, Maggie, if you want him dead, you beat him with the bat. And if she can do it, everybody there would respect her need for revenge because of what he did to her husband. If she can't, he lives. That simple. It's her right, not Rick's choice. Will's like, you're sick. No, I'm just telling you, it's her situation. She lost someone due to him, due to his rules, due to his extracurricular activity. It wasn't, he knew he was going to kill Abraham. He'd already picked Abraham. He even said at Eeny, Miny, Mo was BS. But when he killed Glenn, he chose to kill Glenn. You put the decision fully in Maggie's hands, and Rick should have done that. Rick should have said, it's up to her. Rosita didn't stop Tara. Tara didn't stop Daryl. But Michonne stopped Maggie. I'm just reading a few comments. People are probably like, it's really quiet. I mean, a lot of people are saying she could do it. Maybe she can't. Rick thought he could do it. What if she couldn't? That would validate. Or, here, let me take it a step further. Before you get in that situation with making Negan a human pinata, give her all the letters. Give her all the Carl letters and let her read them. That might help the situation a little bit. Oh, you crawfish with a super chat says, I like this comment. It takes a lot of guts to be a human pinata. Go Maggie. It's great. I mean, look, Spencer was a rat. He didn't deserve that. So Joshua Fett says, if she read all the letters and then he put her in that situation with everybody watching, she had to be a leader, she wouldn't do it. All right. So I'm going to ask the group one more question. Please don't just give me the quickest thing that pops in your mind. I want you to think about this. If that were the scenario, we know Maggie wanted to lure Negan there. We know that she was willing to sacrifice people to make that happen. But now, if everybody was watching, everybody from Alexandria, everybody, all the saviors, all the new people, the people she's leading, everybody, and she's on stage, and Rick put that pressure on her and said, hey, before you do this, I want you to think about this. I want you to read these letters. This is what Carl died for. This is the reason Scott Gimple killed Carl, for this situation. And then, give her 30 minutes, say, look, we don't have to do this. You don't have to run out there with just, that moment. But when you see his face, you might turn into something. And he hands her the bat. I need the group right now. You give me your best answer. Would she beat down Negan, or would she break down and not be able to do it? Read a few of your comments. Feel free to add extra comments if you'd like. Julie Bellamy says she wouldn't do it. Can't shoot him, Casey. Not an option. Joseph Grindstaff says she wouldn't do it. Grim Reaper says she's going to whip his ass. Sergeant Chosen One says she would not. Deja Vu says she would. Garrett says she'd break down. Haiti says she probably wouldn't do it. Walking Dead Nerd says, I don't think she would do it. Michelle Rushton said Maggie would back down. Denise Hopkins says in a heartbeat. Ralph says she wouldn't do it. So this is really how I wanted to drill down, is being a leader is about bigger responsibilities. And if she leads that way, she needs to expect that her people are going to react that way. And maybe that's fine. Maybe that's okay. But Kel hit on the point a little bit earlier. If that's what you are, it never changes. And Carl's way, Rick's way, is an attempt to tone down the violence. It's turning the other cheek. It's not an eye for an eye. It's not giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. It's not necessarily letting someone get over on you, but it is about starting to create a system where everything's not the death penalty. I'm not saying I agree with that or disagree with that, but I'm just saying that if Maggie killed him, it would have consequence. If Rick doesn't kill him, it has consequence. It just depends on what the consequences are going to be. Now, exactly, KCF also brings up another point, and it is a great point. Negan is living, but he's not living. So let's not think for a second that Rick wants to be buddies with Negan right now. I mean, Rick and Michonne have said, you will rot in there. You will die. You will be an example. There is as much hatred with Rick keeping Negan alive as with Maggie wanting to give him the easy way out and killing him. So I'm going to ask that question. What's worse? Dying or potentially, now we think the storyline could change, but we don't know that yet. If it were a fact that Negan would spend the rest of his life jailed, what's worse? No freedom for Negan, no multiple wives, no doing whatever he wants to do, no taking advantage of anybody, but just sitting in a jail cell. Jail is the worst. Life in jail is much worse. So, now with that as the premise of what we're discussing, wouldn't Maggie kind of be doing Negan a favor by killing him? I will get you to waver so many times on this stream tonight. Before the stream is over, you're going to say, you know what, Kills, I was Team Rick. Then I was Team Maggie. Now I'm Team I don't know what the hell's going on. So, hashtag Team I don't know what the hell's going on. That will be where we start to wind it down. So, a couple things that I want to announce for you guys as that starts to sink in a little bit. You can see the gray area. We got a couple hundred people here. If you guys could do me a favor, if you're having a good time tonight, if you're part of the 999 Army, slap that like button. Show a little bit of love. If you're new to the stream, then definitely subscribe. Be a part of what we do. We got a lot of exciting stuff going on over the next couple of weeks. We are going to start Random Things next Tuesday. If you guys don't know what Random Things is, it's a whole list of just off-the-wall topics. Sometimes it relates to music. We do polls, surveys, interaction, live stuff going on. I have a lot of fun with it. A lot of people who watch these streams have a lot of fun with it as well. But we're going to start that Tuesday at 9:30. Our regular schedule is Sunday at noon. We do Walking Dead Junkies, just past, present, future. 8 o'clock, we'll do a Fear Countdown. After Talking Dead, we'll do a reaction video. On Monday night, we do recaps as well. So just a whole lot of cool things that are going down. Captain Crawfish is jumping here saying, let's go Morgan's mentor route and leave him in a cage to starve. Well, they don't want him to starve. They want people to see him, and I get a feeling even saviors might even come by and poke fun at him like, hey, you ruined my life, man. And, you know, that's going to be a lot for him to deal with until ultimately I think Negan's going to lose it. That is going to be one of my bold predictions. I think mentally he's going to be completely broken. Chris Rating wants to know, this week we will be talking Fear or Walking Dead. We're probably going to be start out talking Fear, but then as most things we're going to transition into The Walking Dead. So it's going to be a combination of both, at least for the next few weeks. No doubt about it. Joshua Fett says, I'm going to go way out in left field with everything Negan's done, saying he belongs in jail. Well, doesn't Rick, some others belong in jail for some of the stuff they've done? For sure. Rick has killed people that gave up. Josh, I think that's a great point. And what Rick did is no better. Imagine if everybody on that hill would have did what Rick did. Okay, Rick has these saviors. They put down their weapons. They start to help. So Laura, a few of the other saviors, put their guns down, raise their hands. If they followed Rick's lead of what he did just a day before, imagine if everybody, all the people from Alexandria Kingdom, would have turned around and just mowed down all the saviors. Really? That's the world that they're going to live in? Well, just the day before Rick spared Negan, that's exactly what he did when even, was it Alden? Alden said, hey, he even foreshadowed that. He said, hey, when you get out there, all these people aren't bad. Some of them are workers. You think you can spare a few of them? And he spared none of them. So, Josh, you're absolutely right. You talk about war crimes. Rick is guilty. Garrett Farmer wants to know who has the bat. Rick's got to have the bat. Garrett, Rick is going to do something. Thank you so much for that super chat. I'm going to ask the group, what happens, who has the bat, and what happens with the bat? Leave your thoughts and predictions right now. I think Rick has the bat, and I don't think he's going to break the bat. I think he's just going to use it as a torture device. Anytime Negan gets out of line, he's going to do something to it. He's going to poke a hole in it or take a knife to it and cut a piece of it off. That's what I think is going to happen. Justin Barrett, we're along to say, he says he has it to taunt him. Yeah, I don't think he's going to destroy it. I think he's going to, little by little. Bumblebee Brown says they break it in front of Negan. Possibly, Charles. If it goes the comic route, Rick and Negan will figure it out, and Negan will use Lucille to kill Beta. Don't you touch her. So it looks like most people are saying that Rick has it and he's going to taunt Negan with it. I agree with that. And Crawfish wants to know if during Random Things we will have some ELO talk for Stephanie, the Cuervo Queen. Maybe. So this is what I'm going to do. Kel is our official surveyor. So I'm going to give you the option, the viewers here today, and also the people that are on the 999 Army page. Kel, if you could set up a Random Things topic and give 4 or 5 options or categories, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other, and if you guys would like a specific topic, you can post it on the 999 Army page of a random topic, and if I choose your topic, then I'll give you a shout out if it's something that interesting that we want to talk about in Random Things. There'll be 4 or 5 other topics that I'll just sort of throw out there. All right, and once again, several people had asked about it, so I'm going to, before I do the shout outs, just want to mention a little bit of the gear because we've been talking about this for, I guess, about 3 or 4 months. We are still going to do giveaways. So Steph will still be doing some promotions. We'll be in partnership, and there'll be just some special edition or custom shirts that we'll put out there. But for the masses, we did want to have a site that you could go and that you could purchase, because not everybody's going to win, and we're not going to be doing the giveaways all the time. So this is the first tee. It is a 999 Army tee, and as you guys know, several years ago I set up 999 Gaming. 999 is just the international code for help. I did it to do tutorials and to talk about things, and it's transitioned. And the Army is a big part of, you guys are a big part of what I do and what we talk about. So before I did 999 gaming gear, I wanted to do something that was 999 Army related, because, you know, it's just more of a shout out to you guys. We finally found a vendor that does printing, distribution, the whole thing. So it is, it's much easier. They're not $30 like the other vendors. They're reasonably priced. I think they're 16 bucks, something along those lines. If you look in the description down below, it is 999gear.threadless.com. This is the only design that's out there right now. There's several different colors. I will be adding additional products to that. We're going to add some hats, but I'm not going to put everything out there at one time. So we'll gradually put different topics, different slogans, different things. I know Lucille the like button, a couple other things will be out there for you guys as well. And I'm also going to do two other things. One, it's not going to happen this week, but within a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a t-shirt contest. We got several people that are very artistically talented. I'm going to ask you guys to come up with a design. If we use your design, I'm going to make an announcement. We'll do a special edition shirt. I'll do a giveaway, like some gift cards or something along those lines. I will tell you, whatever design you do, it has to be a transparent PNG. So those of you that use Photoshop and know how to do that, then you'll know how to provide that file to me, and then we'll talk about those details. And we're also going to do some contests for people wearing the gear and posting pictures of themselves. So you guys ask, there it is. That is the first in hopefully a long line of gear. So you guys can check it out. It is up right now. We've already sold a good amount of shirts. So that's what's up right now. So thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here. If you're watching the playback, then these are the closing credits. If you are still here, then give me a quick 999 in chat, and I'll give you a shout out. And there may be a stream tomorrow night. We may do some Walking Dead news. I know usually Friday night we take off. We'll post that on the Facebook page tomorrow. I'm about 50-50 right now because I didn't do a stream last night. If I don't do it tomorrow, we'll definitely be back in full force noon on Sunday. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here. And it is shout-out time. So I want to say what's up to Golden Arms, also to Football Stuff Worldwide, Deborah Mooney, B Loves 999, The Walking Dead, Scott Kernan, Maboon, Joshua Fett, Tanya Dockstader, it's hard to say it fast, Tanya, sorry, Rubelo's Channel, Tommy V, MD Grim Reaper, Janet C, Brian Clayton, what's up, Brian Clayton, Frank Gonzalez from Vermont, what's up, man, OZ, Ackman, Mina Raven, Ultra Groove, let's groove tonight, dun, dun, dun. Captain Crawfish with a super chat while I'm doing my shout out. So Captain Crawfish says, 999 Army, Lucio, no, that's not going to happen. You're trying to make me read things that we're not talking about thongs on this. We're talking about random things, not random thongs. Thank you for being here, all my moderators. Emmy, Steph, Kel, Tommy, the whole crew, Tammy Heitzman, eBeat72, Sergeant Chosen One, Christina Romano. It's a long stream. We're on 50 minutes. I should have did shout-outs 10 minutes ago. Let's try it again. Christina Romano. Petey Weedy, Justin Barrett, have a good night. Walani, Mary Casala, Deborah Perkins. I quit. Deidre Perkins. Please don't watch the playback of shout-outs, whatever you guys do. Johnny Tucker, Charlie Amos, Maggie B, Hippo in the House, Beth Brigette, Billy Henley, Terry Jones, Walking Dead 13, Lou F, Fluff Salisbury, Beto, what's up, Beto? The Mighty Mo, Michelle Rushton, Chris Rainig, Bumblebee Brown, thank you. Valar, appreciate you being here. Gina Crockett. I think a lot of people signed off. They didn't hear me butcher all these shout-outs. That's a good thing. At least it's in the closing credits. KCF, thanks for being here. Haiti Badoon, thank you. Also, shout out all my Patreons out there, all the sponsors, all the super chatters. We're going to change the screen from time to time, so it's just not the same thing. So sometimes we'll have the sponsorship up. We'll have a lot of different things. So we'll change the interface a little bit for you guys. But also, of course, sponsors are great. Appreciate you guys. Ron Burgundy, Charles Loreno, thank you so much. Buffy Batcave. Try to say this, Kills. Tanya K. Guttridge Dockstader. See, I can do it. What's up, Sean Hoover from Texas? You're out there with Morgan. The Catnat. Thanks, Catnat. Jake from State Farm at 3 a.m. Appreciate you being here. Once this video goes live in the next 5 or 10 minutes, you guys can get over there, leave a lot of comments. Comment on other people's comments. Share the video. We want to grow this channel. We're going to grow it a lot, I think, over the next 3 or 4 months. But the more people in the 999 Army, the more people interact, and the better our conversation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of the 999 Walking Dead psychology tonight. And, whoa, hold on now. Cement to dirt. I like you, Kills, but kind of hate you too. That confused me quite a bit. You're going to have to elaborate on that in 1 or 2 of these streams. I'm loved and I'm hated at the same time. Scott Kernan super chatting me right at the very end in the closing credits. Says, Kills, do you think that the Whispers could play a part with Rick and Maggie in the war? Scott, I think if there is some animosity between Rick and Maggie, I think the Whispers could make them bury the hatchet. Literally. Rick might bury the hatchet in some whispers. But, yeah, that could be a kind of interesting storyline that they lead us to believe that there's a little bit more dislike and a little bit more disdain for each other than you think. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we've been friends for a long time. Why are we fighting when we got these 10,000 other people we got to fight? So I do think that could happen. All right, everybody. Appreciate everything that you guys do. I'm going to wind this thing down. Once again, D-Love from North Alabama. Thanks for being here. If I miss you in a shout-out, it's not intentional. I miss a lot of people from time to time. And I'll catch you on the next video for sure. So stay tuned. If you're on the 999 Facebook page, then we'll post tomorrow whether or not we're going to do a stream. It's 50-50 at this point. I will talk to you all either tomorrow or Sunday. Peace.